I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update from Monday, April the 27th, 2015. Israeli forces took out 4 terrorists last night who were trying to place an explosive device along Israel's border with Syria. An IDF patrol in the area had spotted the 4 approaching the border at around 9:30 local time in Israel, and IAF planes quickly were called to the area and struck and killed the terrorists. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that, quote, any attempt to harm our soldiers will be met with a firm response like the one led by the IDF tonight. He praised the troops for their alertness and quick and accurate response. The Jerusalem Post reports, citing media in the area, that the 4 were Druze from the village of Hader in Syria and reportedly members of Hezbollah. An airstrike hit a convoy of long-range missiles headed to terror group Hezbollah in Syria late Friday night, and also early this morning, explosions targeted more weapons along the Syrian-Lebanese border. There were reports in the media that Israel may have been behind the 2 strikes. Israel has not commented on those reports. Other reports today suggest that Syrian rebels may have been behind the 2nd strike this morning. And 3 Israeli border police officers were hit by a car Saturday night in what seemed to be a deliberate attack. The incident occurred in the northeast Jerusalem neighborhood of Atur. One of the officers was in serious to critical condition, while the other 2 were in good to satisfactory condition. They were treated at the scene by Magen David Adom paramedics and taken to the hospital. Israel police arrested the suspected terrorist driver yesterday. And there were 2 separate attacks on border police officers in the West Bank on Saturday. In Hebron, a Palestinian man stabbed an officer in the head and chest near the Cave of the Patriarchs. His fellow officer shot and killed the attacker. The injured officer was in satisfactory condition. Earlier Saturday, 17-year-old Palestinian Ali Abu Ghanam attacked a border policeman with a cleaver at a checkpoint near Ma'aleh Adumim, and then fled to a 2nd checkpoint and ran towards officers there with a knife. Officers called on him to stop and fired warning shots in the air, which the man ignored, and officers then opened fire, killing the attacker. And Israeli authorities today announced the arrest of a terror cell that carried out several fire bombings on the Elisha Military Academy and nearby Halamish settlement in the West Bank over January and February. 6 suspects ranging in age from 19 to 23 were arrested in a joint Shin Bet, IDF, and Israel police operation. Approximately 100 Israelis are said to be missing in Nepal after a massive earthquake on Saturday left thousands of people dead. Israel's foreign ministry said the missing Israelis, most of whom are in the country hiking in the mountains, are hopefully and likely okay, but unable to make contact. 4 Israelis were rescued from Mount Everest today, where they had been trapped. And a plane carrying 5 Israeli families and others who had gone to Nepal to bring home their surrogate babies returned to Israel safely today. Nepal is a major destination for Israeli families looking for surrogate mothers to have their children. Many families and babies are still waiting for evacuation from the disaster-struck area, where they say conditions are very difficult. Meanwhile, Israel has sent a total of 3 airplanes to Nepal with medical personnel and supplies, including this afternoon an IDF 747 carrying medical and rescue personnel and supplies to set up a field hospital in the capital of Kathmandu. A French Jewish man claims he was assaulted outside his synagogue in Paris on Saturday. 53-year-old Salomon Z, as he is being identified, said he was followed and then hit in the face in an alley after attending Shabbat morning services by a young man who appeared to be Arab and who also apparently called him a dirty Jew, and then was joined by 2 other men with an Arab appearance who attacked him as well and threatened to stab him. Police were investigating. World Jewish Congress President Ronald Lauder addressed survivors and liberators who gathered yesterday for the 70th anniversary ceremony of the liberation of Bergen-Belsen, where Lauder warned of the danger of keeping silent in the face of anti-Semitism, now once again on the rise in Europe. 50,000 people were murdered by the Nazis at the death camp in Lower Saxony, Germany, and Lauder told the crowd that to shout against the past while remaining silent about the present is not just wrong, it is outrageous and immoral. He noted, however, that there was a big difference between 2015 and the past, and that today there is a vibrant and powerful Jewish state of Israel and a strong and active World Jewish Congress that will not let these threats go unchallenged. Telling the 100 survivors gathered, "We will not let you down." And turning now to our programming for tonight at 8 o'clock, JBS presents the opening night of the 2014 New York Sephardic Jewish Film Festival, with awards to filmmaker Kamal Hachkar and poet Erez Beaton, and a performance by singer Enrico Macias. That's with JBS's Eli Kohanim from the Center for Jewish History in New York City. At 9 tonight, Mark Golub sits down with leading scholar on Arab culture, Bar-Ilan University's Mordechai Kedar, who addresses the misconceptions Americans have about the structure and mentality of the Palestinian world. And coming up right after this newscast tonight, a research fellow at the Moses Mendelssohn Center for European Jewish Studies at Potsdam University, Gunther Jekeli, talks about the problems posed by the growing trend of anti-Semitic sentiment among European Muslims. That's a JBS exclusive presentation from ISCAP. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, April the 27th, 2015. I'm Teisha Bader.